old brass swing pull handle. So we've got these two bedside tables that have been in my parents' room for years. They were originally part of a collection at the Ritz Hotel back in the 70s or 80s when my dad got them. But these things are absolutely ancient, and we've done some renovations to our parents' room, and these don't really fit in anymore with the overall aesthetic. They've got this style, I would say late 1700s, 18th century French Louis style, but furniture from that particular era was much more intricate, and this has more straight lines in its design. From my research, more straight boxy designs were introduced in the 19th century. Now, what gives away the age of these particular drawers are the drawer slides. Drawers from the 18th or 19th century would have a strip of wood and a dado, i.e. a channel cut into the frame where the drawer would slide in and out. These wheel drawer slides were a European innovation. They were introduced in the 60s, where the wheel rolls along a track inside the frame. So I'm going to date these particular tables to around maybe the 70s or the 80s. Old brass swing pull handle. They've got these old timey brass swing pull handles. These are quite loud, so I'll be replacing the handles as well. The drawer slides themselves, make sure this doesn't fall again. These need to be cleaned and lubricated. I did think of replacing these drawer slides completely with newer ball bearing ones, but these are fine. There's no need to replace them. They just need a good clean and lubrication, so that's that. So what I'm going to do is restore them to a contemporary standard by removing all of this decades old varnish and paint job that's been done. Repaint these in a much more contemporary and modern color. Replace the handles, reattach the failing drawer slides, lubricate them. So I stripped down the varnish using an industrial strength paint and varnish stripper. But the varnish was really old and really stubborn, so I had to do it 3 times, 3 different coats of varnish stripper, and it finally came off. Even then, there was still some residual varnish left, so I had to use some 220 grit sandpaper to completely remove it all. Now that we've sanded all of the frame of the drawer itself, now I'm just going to do the same to the fronts of these drawers. Again, I've used paint stripper on them, but as you can tell on the edges, still varnish there. So we're going to do the same. We're going to sand these as well. The wood paint that I've decided to use is a really nice dark oak color. The reason I chose this is waterproof, it's weatherproof, so if anything was to ever spill on these bedside tables, then the tables and the wood itself would be fine. The paint itself is really hard wearing, and it should last a long time. Here's the table top, or the side tabletop. Now what's left is the legs and the sides. So now I'm going to flip this over because this top bit is dry. 2 coats all done. I'm going to flip this over onto here and paint the legs now. Okay, so while that first coat on... Actually, hold on 1 second. That's better. Now that the ND filter's off, while the first coat on the frame is drying, I'm going to drill the holes for the handles, or the extension holes for the handles. They're looking good so far. It's looking good so far. Drill the holes for these. I probably should have done the holes before I painted it, but we can cover that up. It's not too much of an issue. I used a dark oak. It's actually fence paint, but because it's so hard wearing and it's waterproof, so if water gets spilled on it, if tea gets spilled on it, if coffee gets spilled on it, it'll be absolutely fine. So I love using that for most of my things, for most of things that will be exposed to any liquid, because if raw wood gets exposed to liquid, then it swells up. So being waterproof and being so hard wearing, because it's for outdoor use, means that paint is actually really, really good. And yeah, let's get to drilling. Here's how they're looking right now. It's looking really good. I've replaced the handles, the old handles, with these black ones. Now the issue is these drawers are so old, the distance between these two holes isn't even standard anymore. So this is the closest distance I could find. So what I'm going to have to do is take a drill bit. I'm going to put the drill bit in there, drill across a little bit on that side, drill across a little bit on this side, until I can screw both handles in. It's almost pitch black outside. The rest I'll probably do tomorrow. I mean, everything's done now. I just have to wait for the frame. Just have to wait for the frame to fully dry. The second coat also done. The drawers are completely done. I've had the handles as well. I extended the holes so that the handles would fit. Everything looks really good. Just waiting on this frame to dry. I'll probably leave it overnight for the paint to cure fully before taking them back upstairs.